What's up, YouTube? You're checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my quick review of the DM003 or the DM003. And as you can see, this is the little guy here, and this thing looks really awesome. I really like the way this thing looks. The design is a little different, and just to show you guys what I mean, as you can see, the body looks jet black there, and when you plug it in though, you can see that it's somewhat transparent. So the lights, LEDs shine right through the body on this one, making it possible to get the awesome looking black version and still have a pretty decent night flyer. So I thought that was just pretty awesome with them. Usually you want to steer away from getting the black version of these little micros if you like night flying, because the lights really don't show through the black plastic on them. But this one is an exception, as you can see. Pretty awesome night flights with this thing, and it only comes in this one color, though I've only seen it in black. It would be awesome to see this thing in white though, as the big brother of this, the DM007, actually comes in white as well as black. And so, but this is, I always thought that the black version looks a lot better. It looks more badass than the white version, in my opinion. And to have this thing be a nice night flyer is just a plus, man. This thing is also a nice flyer. And as you can see, the props on this thing look just like the CG022 props that I rave about. They're my go-to props for these little micros. They actually help micros fly better, giving more lift and all usually, and making them more quiet. And it seems like these companies are actually listening to what we say in these little reviews and stuff, because this is not the first micro that I've reviewed that actually have CG022 style props on it. But anyhow, they really benefit this aircraft by making it quiet, makes it a really nice stable flyer as well. So this thing is a pretty nice indoor flyer. It's pretty decent for indoor flying because it's quiet and you won't really bother any of the family if you're flying this around them. And it's just pretty awesome to have it so quiet. And you do have prop guards that come with it, as you can see back there on the box, that there are prop guards that go on here. The prop guards actually hamper the flight characteristics though. It affects it a great deal. It seems like the motors on this thing might be a tad bit too weak, because when you're doing hard, you only notice it when you're doing hard flying with it though. If you're going to be doing indoor flying with it, you're probably not going to really notice it unless you try to do some really deep funnels with it. The yaw rate on this, by the way, is pretty awesome. The pitch on it is pretty decent. Everything about this thing is awesome. Its flight characteristics, except for the fact that I think the motors might be a tad bit weak. But it only affects when you're doing hard turns with deep pitch, because you'll see that it'll descend, it'll lose altitude. But that's just a minor thing. For the most part, this thing is a pretty awesome flyer. Outdoors, it's pretty nice too, outdoors, but it's more apparent, the motor situation when you're flying it outdoors, fighting wind and stuff like that. It seems to lose altitude a lot when you're doing hard turns with it. But other than that, like I said, this thing is quiet. It's very stable. It flips well. This thing flips pretty nice. And the lights, all that in combination makes this thing a pretty awesome little micro. One of my favorites to fly, definitely. Lately, we've been getting micros that have been having small transmitters. Not the case with this one. As you can see, it has the same exact transmitter as its big brother, the DM007. All the controls and everything is the same. The protocol is also the same. So to do flips, you hit this right shoulder button, and then over here you have the rates. There are 3 rates, and if you're just going to be hovering around and flying it around slow indoors, then I guess you can keep the prop guards on to protect the props. But if you're intermediate to expert with these things, you don't really crash too much indoors, then I would recommend removing the prop guards and having the best fun that you can have out of this thing. Awesome little flyer here, and it comes with an instructions manual that's in full English. Actually, no Chinese at all on this one here, and it's pretty detailed, very legible English, and it explains just about everything that you need to know about it. It does have headless mode as well. It works for a little while, but then it starts to get off. I don't really think that these companies should continue to implement headless mode in these micros unless they have a really fast yaw rate, because that's the only time that I think headless mode is fun to have on these little aircraft. Oh yeah, these landing gear, the landing feet are removable. To cut down on some of the weight, you can remove those. And just an awesome little flyer, the DM003. Thanks for watching.